Welcome to episode 1 of 5 Questions. I'm your host, Jaxon Pace. The purpose of this show is to inform both students and our community and give an in-depth look on the Vancouver School District. Our first guest is Columbia River High School Principal, Mr. Alex Otoupal. Mr. Otoupal, thanks for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Jaxon.
All right, so just jumping right in, what do you see as the main job of a high school principal?
The high school principal job is to ensure that students are getting opportunities, that they're arriving at school safe and on time. And I think the position has really evolved in the last several years in terms of students' access to a principal, whether that be through different venues like social media or just in general, the way students and staff interact. I think it's growing to be a much more casual relationship for the general student experience. And I would say my singular purpose is really about making sure students are graduating on time. But more in depth to that is having students create opportunities for themselves and capitalizing opportunities that the school district and the state can offer, making that compelling of an educational experience rather than just compliant. We have that compulsory education where students have to be in a school while they're young, but we also want to make sure it's meaningful, and that's really the essential part of my role, is to make sure that it matters, and it matters to you, it matters to your classmates, and you have projects that you're interested in, and like this one, where you're really excelling at something you like.
Yeah. So just kind of making sure school works for everybody.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
So I know you meet with students a couple times every year, and obviously you interact with students every day.
Yes.
So what are your biggest concerns for students, and have you noticed that those students agree with or see it along the same lines
Right.
as you?
Yeah, students don't always agree. Adults don't always agree. The beauty of a public high school is that this is a place where we can all come together and try to find common ground as best we can. So in terms of backing up students and supporting students' needs, I don't always know what the needs are. I have an idea, and we, of course, as I mentioned, we have our graduation requirements, but also trying to get to what's underneath the surface of what would help a student get to a place where they want to thrive and get to a place where they hope to be after graduation. So a couple of avenues that I try to get feedback from students beyond our leadership and our associated student body class, our leadership class, is the Principals Council. And that's an opportunity for me to just connect with students in a couple of different sessions, just to get ideas on what they love about their high school experience and what we can build on, and what they don't love about it and what we can work together to change.
Yeah, so following up on that idea of the Principals Council, how do you find those students? Do teachers pick them? Do you just kind of pick them out of the bunch? How does that work?
Right. Good question. The students are recommended by teachers, and so I've done about 7 councils over the last 8 years with our students here at River, and it's been teachers making recommendations. And so I asked the teachers who's standing out in their classrooms as a student that's outspoken or willing to stand up and tell it like it is. Students that are thoughtful and that are invested in the school. However, they may not be connected to a club or an activity or part of an athletic program here. So we try to find those hidden gems and then work directly with those students. Invite them in. This year we made an exception. We have a large group. Typically it's been in the 30s students, the number 30. This year we had 71 students nominated, and so that tells me that our staff are starting to understand the value and the power of that. I shouldn't say start to understand. I know that they do understand that, but this is a formal way for that connection to be built, and I'm very much appreciative of that, and that's why we didn't turn anybody away this year, so all 70 have been invited, and so now it'll be a matter of scheduling so that students can make that part of their day and make that part of their month here this month, and then as we continue throughout the school year.
Yeah. So what is your hardest struggle of being a principal, and what have you seen as your favorite part, your greatest joy of the job?
So I'd say the struggle is we don't always know what's happening underneath. We don't always know what struggles students are faced with. And we are often reactionary. And so that's something we struggle with is what's going on in the community, what's going on at home, what's going on in a student's health and life in general. We all struggle. So how that manifests or how that demonstrates itself in school or in the community, we want to always try to get in front of that. And so that's something we struggle with, is trying to identify support systems. I think we do a really good job of that. We have a terrific guidance team here, guidance counseling team, and the connections that students are making with teachers, both in and outside the classroom, make the difference there with our staff. So the piece that I love the most, or what brings me the most joy, is what I described earlier, is the Principal's Council, and just having an opportunity to work directly with students in just those creative activities that allow students to be their true selves with me and with our leadership team. I'll be working this year's council with Vanessa Bravo, who's a Spanish teacher and a choir teacher here, and Elizabeth Vaughn, who also is on staff as a math teacher and a support for our LISA branch.
All right, so there's construction happening all over the district, and it'll be happening big time here at River coming up in a couple months. So besides kind of the physical improvements, where are some areas of the school that you'd like to improve?
So I think continuing to amplify our students' voice. We have a terrific diversity of voices here, and that's just beyond what I think we have an opportunity to celebrate, or we take the opportunity to celebrate. And so that's the effort that I think we can continue to work towards, is doing that justice of celebrating all of our students and the gifts that they bring. If I'm putting numbers around this, we have 28 different International Baccalaureate courses that we offer here at Columbia River High School, which is an exceptional variety. And so we also, with that 28, have an opportunity to engage each of our students in a pathway that they want to pursue, and a pathway that interests them, and an opportunity, projects like this one, where you can take something that you're passionate about and then develop that into something that you can carry forward and practice here, and then continue on at university or continue on in a career of your choosing. So this is the ideal time to really look at, not just, as you point out, not just the physical evolution of our building and our campus, but also like what opportunities are we providing for our learners here.
Yeah. So kind of wrapping it up here, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I want to tell you how proud I am of you and the team here for putting this project together. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So that's our fifth question. So again, thank you, Mr. Otoupal, for joining us here today. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.